Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. I am Miss Bushra Tanveer. This is social studies class for grade 7. This is our 19th video of this social studies class. In this video we shall study chapter number 18 from this book. Dear students, after today's lesson, you will be able to understand the text given in chapter 18. You will also be able to do the question answer from the exercise. Dear students, now we shall start chapter number 18. The title of the chapter is The Last Steps to Independence. Book page 86. Here we take a few steps backwards to trace the journey to independence. In the Second World War, India again supplied hundreds of thousands of soldiers to fight along with the British. In 1940, the British government made the august offer towards great autonomy. This seemed to give India all that it had asked for, full independence after the war, and the Indian people could make their own constitution, but Congress rejected it and once more started violent civil disobedience and riots. Dear students, in the Second World War, India also supported the British, and the British awarded the India that for the self-governing state, but the Indian people wanted the full independence after the war, so they rejected this proposal, and again the violent civil disobedience and the riots started in the subcontinents. Now the next passage is in 1942, with the Second World War at its peak, the British government sent a delegation to India under Sir Stafford Cripps, a senior statesman. His purpose was to explain the Japanese threat to India and in return for Indian support, after them full dominion status. The plan also allowed provinces the choice to join or withdraw from the Indian Union, a proposal rejected by the Congress. The Muslim League rejected the Cripps offer as it didn't concede Pakistan as a separate state for the Muslims. Dear students, now the explanation of these lines, that in the British government sent a mission to the subcontinent in 1942, headed by Sir Stafford Cripps. It tried to unite all the political parties on some points, but it failed in its attempt. Cripps didn't declare any party responsible for the failure of the mission. He accepted himself the failure. The Muslims had made demand for Pakistan through Pakistan Resolution. The leaders of the Congress were launching movement against the government because, anticipating the defeat of the British in Second World War 1939 to 1940, it had decided that Japanese would now decide the future of the subcontinent. Dear students, now in front of your computer screen you can see the map of the subcontinent. The division of the two countries is over here. You can see the green part of the map on the right side of your screen and on the left side of the screen. The right side of the screen, this is the East Pakistan. This is the East Pakistan, and on the left side, West Pakistan, East Pakistan, which is called now Bangladesh, and it was separated from Pakistan in 1971. And also the white area on the map, this is the Indian state, Delhi, Kolkata, Bombay, all the parts of this. And also on the top of the slide you can see Jammu and Kashmir disputed territory, and this is the area of the Jammu and Kashmir which is still disputed now, means that didn't till now it's didn't decide that this is the part of Pakistan or this is the part of India. So Jammu and Kashmir is the disputed territory area which is shown in the map. Dear students, in the next slide, the passage is, in 1946, the cabinet mission comprises 3 senior cabinet ministers from Britain came to India to hold discussions with the leaders of all parties. The mission proposed an all India union made up of the provinces and princely states, defense, foreign affairs and communication to be the responsibility of the central government, with everything else to be in the control of the provincial assembly. The third point, there would be 3 groups of provinces, Muslim in the north, West Bengal and Assam, and Hindu majority provinces. Yes students, now in the 1946, the cabinet mission plan which is discussed over here, that in 1946 the British government sent a delegation and Mr. Atal sent a cabinet mission to India, and the points which were discussed over there, the first one, that all India union can made up of the provinces and princely state by our own, defense, foreign affairs and the communication system will be controlled by the central government, and the rest of the things were controlled by the provincial assemblies. So the formation of the provincial groups are also declared over there, that Muslim in the northwest means that the majority provinces like Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Balochistan, that was the group B, and this is the formation of the Pakistan Muslims, and Bengal and Assam, this is the formation of the group C, and Hindu Muslim majority provinces, the Hindu majority provinces of the states which are included, that was Madras, Bombay, UP, CP, Bihar and Orissa. Dear students, now the next passage is the cabinet mission eventually proposed division of the subcontinent into 3 parts and local autonomy under a central Indian Union dealing with defense, foreign affairs and communication. However, this plan was also collapsed, but when Mr. Nehru's statements revealed the real intentions of the Congress for total domination, an interim government was formed with the swearing in the Executive Council in September 1946, persuaded by the Lord Wavell. Mr. Jinnah nominated 5 names, including a Hindu, to represent the Muslim League. The important position of finance minister was awarded to Mr. Liaquat Ali Khan. Students, the cabinet mission proposal, what was that? That in 1946, the Mr. Lord Attlee sent a cabinet mission to India, and there were the few discussion or the basic purposes of that mission, The first purpose was to determine the constitutional status of India and form of government, and the second purpose was to bridge the gap between Muslim and Hindu and try to convince the Muslim to live in the united India, but the general election proved that it was quite impossible, and also the Foreign Affairs, Defense and the Communication Department was under the control of the central government, and the rest of the things was controlled by the provincial government. But this wasn't happened. This proposal was rejected, and after a temporary government was formed in 1946, and Lord Wavell, Mr. Jinnah nominated 5 names including Hindu to represent the Muslim League, and also Mr. Liaquat Ali Khan was the finance minister appointed on that time. Yes, students, now the next subheading is Independence for the subcontinent in 1947. Election had taken place in Britain in 1945. These brought a new Labour government to power with completely different ideas from the Conservative one which had been defeated. The new Prime Minister, Mr. Attlee, said that any party which had the support of the people of India could form the government there, and that Britain would withdraw from the subcontinent in July 1948. Mr. Jinnah asked for the separate state, and the Britain agreed. In 1945, as I told you, or we discussed, that cabinet mission proposal means that approved on that time, and the Mr. Attlee was the minister or the cabinet mission minister, sent a cabinet mission to India, and he declared that the people of India supported any party. If the people of India supported the Indian National Congress or supported the Muslim League, that party made the government or formed the government in the subcontinent, and the British people or the British rule would withdraw from the subcontinent in July 1948. He declared that after July 1948, the British rule demolished, or the people of the subcontinent get rid from the British. So, and also Mr. Jinnah demand for the separate state for the Muslim, and the British government or the Britain agreed for the demand of the Muslims for the separate state. Dear students, now in front of your computer screen you can see the picture. This is the picture of at the time of the migration, that when the people migrate from India to Pakistan in 1947, and you can see the situation how the people migrated from India, and a boundary commission was set up under the senior British judge Sir Cyril Radcliffe, helped by the 2 Muslims and 2 Hindu judges, to decide exactly where the boundaries between the 2 new states should be. And after the boundary decided, the Muslims migrated from India to Pakistan, and the Hindus and the Sikhs migrated from Pakistan to India. Now the next passage is in 1947, which left only a few weeks for the extremely complicated arrangement to be sorted out. An Indian Independence Bill was rushed through Parliament in London which said that there should be two independent dominions in the Commonwealth, India and two Pakistans, West Pakistan and the East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. The princes were urged to join whichever of the two new states they wished to, depending on the religion of the rulers or the majority of the people. A boundary commission was set up under a senior British judge, Sir Cyril Radcliffe, helped by two Muslim and two Hindu judges, to decide exactly where the boundaries between the two new states should be. Dear students, in the Indian Independence Bill was passed in the London Parliament, and it was decided over there that in the subcontinent there will be two prominent independent states was over there, the India and the Pakistan, and also the princely states in the subcontinent, they had the right to they had the right wherever or whichever of the two states they can join. If they want to join the India or if they want to join the Muslims, Pakistan, it's up to the choice of the princely states. And the boundary commission was set up under the senior British judge. So they selected two judges from the Muslims and two from the Hindus for the boundary decision between the two new states. Students, now the next passage is independence saw terrible scenes. 6 million Indians and the 6 refugees from Pakistan territory poured into India, and 8 million Muslims were forced to flee to Pakistan. There were dreadful atrocities on either side. Trains carrying refugees were derailed and the people massacred. The state of Junagadh, Hindu majority Muslim ruler, opted to join Pakistan but was seized by Indian troops. The state of Hyderabad, Muslim ruler, Hindu majority, wanted to remain independent but was occupied by Indian forces in 1948. So on that time, the time of the migration, the situation was very terrible or very frightened, dreadful. 6 million Indians and Sikh migrated from Pakistan, and 8 million Muslims migrated from India to Pakistan, and it was very frightened situation, or the people were killed very badly, and also the train was looted, and the refugees on the train, they also killed, and the people have to be looted by the women also killed, and some women were that we can say that they have to be taken alive by the Sikhs and the Indians. So the state of the Junagadh, where the Hindu majority, that was declared that it will be in the Muslim rulers, but the Indian troops have to seize it, and the state of Hyderabad, Muslim ruler, Hindu majority, this state was also occupied by the Indian forces in 1948. Students, now the next passage is the Hindu ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, where the majority of the population was Muslim, deciding against the advice of his Hindu prime minister, joined India. Pakistan objected against this obvious injustice, and war broken out between India and Pakistan. The United Nations intervened and said that a plebiscite must take place to leave the people themselves to decide to which country they wanted to belong in 1949. Well over 50 years later, India has refused to honor the UN's decision, knowing what the result would be, and there had been two further wars between the two countries with the problem still unsolved. Students, as I have shown you on the map that Jammu and Kashmir still now is the dispute area, and the British government decided that this problem, or the United Nations decided that this problem will be decided, we can say that this problem sought out or resolved by the referendum, but the decision didn't take till now, and till now this state or area is the dispute territory. Well over now 50 years later, India had refused to honor the UN's decision, and the both countries have been two further wars between this area, but still now the problem is unsolved. And now in the present situation, you know about the lockdown from the last one and more than 1 year, or more than 1.5 years, the people were in the lockdown, and the very critical situation was over there in Jammu and Kashmir. So still now this area is the dispute area, and it's not decided that Indian people, that the Jammu Kashmir people who lived in Jammu Kashmir, the Jammu Kashmir is the part of the Pakistan, or it will be the part of India. Dear students, now we shall see the question answer from this chapter. Question number 2. How did the Second World War affect the freedom movement in the subcontinent? The answer: the sheer pressure of the Second World War on the Western countries loosened their grip on their colonies. Britain, as one of the biggest colonizers, felt a great impact, and its largest colony, the subcontinent, was among the earliest to gain independence. Students, now the question number 3 from the exercise. All sides rejected the cabinet mission proposal. Why do you think did they do so? The answer: the cabinet mission's proposal pleased no one. The Muslims would always be a minority in a united India, and though they would have some autonomy in the 4 provinces, control of defense, foreign affairs, and communications would always be in the hands of Hindus. The princes objected to losing power and wealth in a new democracy. The Hindus wanted complete and permanent domination and rejected even the small concessions suggested to Muslims by the mission. Students, now the assignment book, page 93. This is the assignment from this chapter. Question number 4. Find out which other new countries came into being in the year 1945 to 1950 after the Second World War. Make a list with the dates of their independence. Dear students, in these assignments, you just find out the name of the countries. Those countries got freedom after 1945 till 1950. You will make the 2 columns on your notebook. In 1 column, you just write down the years and on the other column you write down the name of the countries. Means suppose that in the one column you just write the year in 1947, and on the right side in the countries you mention the name. In 1947 Pakistan and also India got freedom. So just like this you make the whole assignment. Now the homework: learn and write exercise question answers which are done today. See you in the next video. Goodbye.